Well, if you're looking for a gun that literally knocks people off the ground, look no further, because this thing hits like a truck. It can also make you very wealthy in just a couple of seconds. Furthermore, it makes you look damn manly. And if there was any doubt about it, yeah, it's huge. Today we talk about why you should be playing the MP-153 or his little brother, the 133. First, quickly the difference between the MP-133 and the MP-153. The MP-133 is a pump action shotgun, while the MP-153 is a semi-automatic shotgun. As always, we start off with the modability of the weapon. What can you do with this gun? Well, first off, it doesn't even fit into the weapon preset screen. It's really that massive. But let's say it's not long enough for you. Then you can change the stock. Then we have a couple of choices. We have the short grip, for example, that boosts the ergonomic, but damn, you have a ton of recoil with that thing. And you can also use the attachment called the Stock Adapter Tactical, which lets you add a FAP defense buffer tube, which unlocks a whole new set of stocks, like this enormous thing. Now that your gun is even longer, you have choices between different magazines. Just keep in mind that if the magazine gets longer than the actual barrel, because you can change the barrel as well, you can't add any barrel attachments. And there are a couple. There are 2 different silencer and a couple of muzzle brakes to lower the recoil. Then there are 2 ways you can mount scopes, one in the front, one in the back. While the backside lets you put on range scopes, I would really not recommend that you use them because it looks like this. And finally, you have the ability to mount up to 3 tactical devices, just in case that you want to cause permanent damage to the eyesight of your opponent. Now the little brother, the MP-133, is pretty much the same except for one thing. It lets you change the handguard, which then again lets you put on a grip, just in case you want a shotgun with a vertical grip or whatever. And it also lets you put on 2 more tactical devices. And with that thing in a night raid, the moon is a freaking joke against you. Then affordability. How much do we have to pay for this cannon? Well, the little brother is available for 20,000 at Jaeger and the big one for 30,000 at Jaeger. There are also trades. I think the biggest or best one is the one at mechanic level 1 for 2 elites and 1 screwdriver. You get a tactical MP-133 shotgun. There are also other trades, but Nikita is changing things so fast that yeah, you know what? I'll let Igor discuss this topic in his next Tarkov news. Then the affordability of mods, and I don't know about that because as soon as you start modding the weapon, it starts entering a price range where a lot of other weapons are competing. For example, you get the full auto SMG for 40,000, or you get the legendary TOTS for a fraction of the price. But on the plus side, you get the weapon backed by insurance a lot, because the only way that most people can pick this weapon is by dragging it into the second weapon slot. Because most people use a Bearcruit or a Scav backpack and the weapon is just too big for those backpacks. And most people won't waste their second weapon slot on a simple shotgun. So you get the weapon back a lot. Then how about ammunition? And there are a lot of different bullets for this gun. I think the 2 that most people are talking about is the Fléchette. Yeah, that's 100% wrong, but I love it. Oh, so most people talk about the Fléchette and the AP slug. Now, if we compare both of them to level 5 armor, and I didn't get those back by insurance. What? Which one of you rats found those perfectly hidden armors in a bush? Anyway, with AP slug, it took 6 bullets to penetrate the armor. Now, of course, if you have only a level 4 armor, as you can see, AP slug is basically what armor? It penetrates right away. It has a very good penetration chance against level 4 armor. Let's compare that to Fléchette. With this ammo, we go through the armor with just 3 bullets. So this thing shreds armor like crazy. It's also way cheaper than AP slug. So if you really want to ruin a chat's day, then pick some flechette and pump them full of it. Then, how does the weapon perform at closer ranges? Now, I tried both. I tried very aggressive and very close range, very aggressive on mid-range, very passive, and so on. And what I found is that a very aggressive playstyle works perfect on factory with that thing, where you just can hip fire everybody. It's absolutely devastating, especially with flechette. So this thing really lets you dominate a map like factory. But as soon as you take it on mid-ranges, for example on customs, it still performs decent, but it's very demanding on aim. Because basically you have one shot and you have to make this shot count. Because imagine you and your opponent start shooting at the same time. He has full auto, you have your shotgun. So if you miss your first bullet, which can happen pretty easily, then you're probably dead. What I found is that with full auto, it lets me correct my mistakes a little bit. So if the first shot is a bit off, I can just keep spraying and correct the aim a bit, and one bullet will find its target. But with a shotgun, if the first shot is not on target, the recoil is pretty heavy, it's slow, heavy weapon. Usually in the heat of a fight, you don't get a precise second shot off. But again, that's mid-range. On close range, no doubt, this weapon absolutely shreds. But on mid-range, so at ranges where you have an advantage when you're scoped in, with this shotgun you are at a huge disadvantage, or at least I'll feel that way. Also because the recoil is so heavy, it completely blocks your view to your target, so you don't see at all what they're doing. For all you know, he could be grabbing his jetpack and fly away. You simply don't know, you don't see him. Of course you can just counter the movement, so move your mouse down and then up again, but that's again very demanding on aim. So just be aware that on mid-range, if the other guy has a decent full auto weapon, you are at a disadvantage. Then sniping. Sniping is a ton of fun with this weapon. AP slug flies surprisingly far and straight, while still having a lot of power even on far ranges. Just remember, don't try to mount a sniper scope on your shotgun, you won't see anything through it. And the last thing you won't be doing in a fight is getting rid of your scope. So in conclusion, there are good weapons at close ranges. At mid ranges though, you are at a slight disadvantage against people with full auto. So if you do stash runs for example, and you see your opponent before he sees you, lay on the ground to compensate for the recoil and pump him full of flechette. The sheer amount of damage will surprise him that heavy that he will probably just throw his mouse through his room. Otherwise, I don't recommend face tanking full auto, guys. And that's it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, of course, smash like, tell me in the comment section what your experience is with the MP shotgun, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next video, guys. Bye bye!